All right, welcome back to episode 7 of MTD the Podcast with co-hosts Colin and Brendan McNamara. We got a special guest today, Lamarr Walker, someone who in my life has been one of the biggest influences since I was, in elementary school, has really impacted my life, and I think I can speak for many other kids in my area and beyond that he's impacted. So, Lamarr, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
So, so just get into like your childhood and how you grew up, and you're around the Boston area. I grew up in Medford, all that, and how you've kind of where you are now.
Yeah, so it all started, back in Boston. It's kind of where I grew up at. Bouncing between Atlanta and Boston, Georgia and Boston, back and forth. Played a lot of sports growing up: basketball, football, baseball. I was very active. Whether it was just like being active on the playground, it was just like moving, running. It was just always a part of me. So I think basketball started maybe like around super young, like third grade, around there, like maybe even younger than that, second grade. And just from there, I think that's the sport that kind of like took over it in the end. Through the process of played a lot of different sports, experimented a couple of things in high school, like lacrosse here and there, a little bit of baseball in high school. But ultimately, like basketball is the thing that stuck. Played it all year round. Didn't have to have a season. Pick up basketball. You go to your rec leagues, YMCA's, Boys and Girls Club. There's always a way to kind of keep playing basketball. I think it's one of the easiest sports just to pick up and play with a group of friends. It's a 2-on-2, 3-on-3. So it's kind of the sport that I developed around the most. So
It's a fact, honestly. Like all you need is a ball and yourself, and you can still get it in. It's like the easiest sport you can play.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, no, definitely. It can keep one entertained, especially if you kind of have that mindset. And like we'll touch on that as we get deeper into about basketball. But
yeah,
um, yeah, so like I grew up in the Boston area mainly, and I moved to Medford around elementary school, around the fourth grade. Went to the Brooks Hobbs Elementary School out in West Medford, and from there went on to go to Medford High School. Um, I went to actually there was two parts of Medford High School: the vocational part and just actual just regular pure academics. And I actually chose to go to the vocational part of the school and study some electrical. So I did that for a little bit, had a trade, and decided to come back. This is when I lived out in Georgia. So I graduated from Medford High School, had that electrical trade, moved out to Georgia. I was doing that for a little bit, and decided that just wanted to get back into Boston and kind of get to do more other work. Electrical wasn't really my thing. Let's just put it that way. I wasn't striving as much as I thought I would in that industry. So I came back, got back into school, UMass Boston, and then I found myself over in Arlington with you guys. And it's so funny because growing up, it's like Duggar Park, West Medford, like we would just battle you guys back and forth, and like Philly Geek and kind of contest in that a little bit. So we was just always just like we had our our view of the Arlington kids back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
there was a line. There's that line, that bridge
Was
you
a
just can't
line,
cross.
yes. It was a bridge that like you just couldn't cross the bridge unless you guys were ready to come over and hoop. And we just felt that you guys weren't ready to come hoop in West Medford back in the day. So we had our reserved feelings about the Arlington kids.
It's crazy.
But hindsight 2020, like I guess I was very much wrong. Like got to Arlington, started working in that community, met a lot of great people, from kids to adults, athletes, non-athletes. It's just a really great community, and I'm really happy I got my start there. Um, as Brendan said, like I met Brendan when you were how old, Brendan? Fifth grade,
Fifth
fifth
grade.
grade, right?
We
One of
st-
the most dedicated athletes I had met as that young, just wanting to get nonstop shots up, nagging me every day, like, yo, let's get shots up in the gym every day before school, like
that's right.
ultimate work ethic. Yeah. So that was awesome, just like that experience between me and UB. And
Yeah, no, it was.
You can talk
Shout out to Mr. Hart, the janitor.
Yeah, no,
dude, every morning letting us in the gym.
sixth grade. Yeah, it was sixth grade. I remember I'd be like, hey, we go up at 6:15, maybe 6:20. We try to get up, 100 plus makes, and then I have school
Yeah,
at like
definitely.
8:15, and it all worked out. So, and then we obviously then started going to like Boston basketball and kept it going for a while. And then obviously we just, different situations. But I think, you really instilled that in me, trying to, finding times to put work in when, you have to kind of work around your day. And ever since then, I've still something I routinely do, getting up early and start my day early. Matter of fact, I wanted to touch on this. I saw one of your tweets. I was going through your Twitter, not stalking, but one of your tweets was, who else starts their day at 5 a.m.? So is that something you still do? You start early?
Something that I do on a daily. It's has part to do with my dog, you know. So I have a dog, and it's very essential that you get up in the morning and take your dog outside. From my experience, unless you want to, be cleaning up messes on a daily. But I think I got to that habit just because of that reason, and I just found that like you can be very productive, like starting your day that early in the morning, things like that. So for me, it's just about trying to get like the most done that early in the morning, like the little things. Like I may just go like hit the weights for a little bit, get some cardio in, go hit the sauna, like watch some news. Like I'm on Twitter early in the morning. I'm checking my emails, like filtering through my schedule, like. And I'm talking about getting all this done like before 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Before 6:30. So it's just like get all that stuff out of the way, and then I just have so much more free time, like to keep planning on other things, like for the future, whether it is for the rest of that day or that week. I just feel like you have way more time when you start your day earlier. So it's kind of been like something that I've been doing, looking forward to, and even like without my dog, like some days I don't have my dog. I leave my dog in Georgia sometimes with some family, and like it's just become a habit for me now to be up at 5 a.m. So I don't. It's not for all people, but
No, it's not. It's not. But if you can do it, it's.
you can do it. I highly recommend starting your day as early as possible. It just you'll feel a lot more productive and a lot more successful at the end of the day.
Definitely. If I'm waking up like late, if I wake up and it's like light out, like real light out, like 9ish, 8:30, feels I mean that's a little bit, but like it feels like you might be wasting a day. Like if you're waking up early, at least that's my feeling.
Unless like your day consists of getting a lot of stuff done like in the late evenings, you know what I mean? Like then that's fine. It's like a lot of people can sleep in, like a lot of their day-to-day stuff maybe doesn't happen until like the evenings or at night and things like that. But if you're a type of like, for me, like I'm doing either basketball trainings or like regular practice at my at the River School, or just getting some personal stuff done myself. Like I want to be able to have all that mental work done, that preparation, all that prep work done like earlier in the day. So it's nothing that's like pops up on me like, oh man, I forgot to plan for this for tomorrow, or I forgot to account for this, or I double booked myself because I didn't go over my schedule this morning. Da 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 da. So I think there's a lot of pros to kind of getting up early in the morning. So for me, for me at least.
And how long, like, because I know like when you're trying to build habits, they say it takes like 60 days or something for that habit to be like solidified. So like how long did it take you to get that habit? And like how much of a grind was that? Like waking up those first 60 days, and like there must have been some days where you're like, I can't even take the dog out right now. I'm dead.
Yeah, I think it's like that mind over matter thing. It's kind of like, hinting back to what I was talking about, like with Brendan and things like that. Like you got to be like some type of like savage to be like want to make 100 shots as a fifth grader. You know what I'm talking about, before school in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of like, oh crap, it's raining this morning, or it's snowing, or my back hurts, or had a long night, or whatever. It's like if you see some type of priority or some type of something meaningful behind what you're doing, like you're gonna set that priority at the highest level, and that's gonna be like something that you're gonna focus on doing day after day after day to get better at it, just increasing the reps and the reps and the reps. And I think that's just like for me at least, it doesn't take any number of days or building that habit up. It's just once I see something that like I can build success on, or it's gonna benefit me, it's just I automatically start doing it. So like once it was tough a little bit early, like 5 a.m. But like once I was like, shit, like I'm getting a lot of stuff done here. Like this is good. And then like after like a week or two, your body adjusts. So it's like you're not feeling that tiredness anymore. You know, the alarms you set at 5 a.m., you start waking up at 4:55, and it's like, holy
Yeah.
cow, before my alarm now. You know what I mean? So your body starts to adjust, and it starts to become a routine habit, especially when you look forward to getting up and being productive and doing what you're looking forward to do. So.
Definitely.
Like that.
Also, I just kind of wanted to just go back and just ask you a quick question. I know you had that electrical trade, went down to Georgia. That wasn't really your vibe. Like that wasn't your thing. So you came back into the Boston area. So what made you want to like kind of work in the community and work in the youth after that? Like, you know, obviously you definitely had a bunch of different options to choose from, kind of what you wanted to do. But like kind of what was your mindset and what made you want to kind of help out the community and you know, work with the youth like you were with Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, to be 100% honest, I didn't know I wanted to do that until, you know, I started doing it.
Yeah.
I was naturally good at it, and you know, this is the MTD Zoom version. If you guys ever want to do the uncut version, I can give you all the details about how that, you know, came to be fruition. But long story short is just like, you know, I came back from Georgia and I needed to make some money, dude. Like I had some friends that are already working in childcare. Matt Dolan that runs Arlington's Children's Center. He was already a friend of mine. I had different connections, and we was already friends through the grapevine. And like when a position opened up, he just kind of just offered me a job. And like I said, I was already doing a bunch of other things that were kind of like, you know, it was like a separate lifestyle. And to what I was getting ready to transition into as far as childcare and things like that and education. So like I said, I was just trying to make some money at the time. That's my whole mindset was like 21, like 21, 22, just trying to just like get a steady check, get some money. And once I started doing it, working with the school system, like I said, the domino effect just happened to where naturally I was good at it. And that's how I got back into coaching basketball as well, was through the public school system. I was just in the gym, getting some shots up or whatever. And young kid notices, like, you know, I'm gonna be a little dramatic. Oh, you're really good. Like, did you play in the NBA? You get that story all the time. being an athlete, shooting, you know, in the shooting with like a third grader or whatever. And just naturally like that, I got back into basketball doing that type of stuff. And in the school system doing that. So like I said, like it was nothing that I wanted to do initially. I was good at it. I got job offerings after that from, you know, wanting to be an assistant in the kindergarten rooms for the Brackett Elementary School.
Shout out Brackett.
Yeah,
shout out Brackett.
To different positions within the school as far as like working with behavioral kids and stuff like that, doing like one-on-one work. So, and I think just like as the years went by, just like anything, like I was saying earlier, like when you're good at it and you can find success in it, like you ultimately put the time in to get better at it. And like that's kind of what I did in the past, you know, 7 years or so, the time that I've been working within that school system. You know, I had opportunities. I took those opportunities to learn and get better and advance. And that's kind of how, like, you know, that's kind of like where I am now as far as working within the Arlington public school system. So it's not something that I started off like wanting to do. I didn't aim to go do that. But once I saw the end and like, yo, I can do this. They like me, whatever, like making some good money, like I'm going to run with it. So, and that led to other things. So, you know, I can't, have to appreciate those opportunities that those people gave me. It's really good.
Definitely.
Yeah. So being around, you know, the young generation a lot, what's like young, obviously, like you're talking elementary schools, a lot of time at bracket. What's one thing you've really has stood out to you in terms of, being around young kids in this generation right now?
It's a lot actually. You talked about, you had asked me about people that inspire me and things like that, people that I'm inspired by, people that I look up to, um, in relation to like the younger generation. And, you and Colin are the younger generation to me, and things like that. Like the bracket school kids now, the younger generation to me. Um, and it's just like, I learned so much from you guys, and I appreciate so much, that I get to interact with you guys, um, um, from just like the nuances of things, like technology advancements, and just the way you guys think, where it's everything, social movements. You guys are so involved in everything now. From a perspective, is like you have so much. You're so opinionated, so it's just like you can always learn something from someone just by listening. Whether you take the information and apply it to your daily life or not, it's always good to listen and learn. And I think because you guys have so much access to like, the internet and all this other stuff like I didn't have when I was a little bit younger than you guys, like it makes your opinion so much more valuable, I think, because you're able to go out there and access information, and then what you do with it is just as important. So we talk about like being influenced and being inspired. Like I don't think I don't think you can put a limit or an age on, who inspires you and things like that, or who your inspirations are. Like I'm sitting there talking to two very inspirational people right now. You guys are Brendan, you're still in high school. Colin, you're not even out of college yet, and you guys are sitting there running a clothing company and running podcasts and interviewing people on, social problems and things like that. It's just like you guys are inspiring to many people older than you and younger than you. So you guys must realize that. And if a lot of your generation kind of moves like you guys and does stuff like you, I think we'll be good. You guys are the leaders of tomorrow. So, I think it's very important that we, the older generation, those millennials and those baby boomers and those older people, like they need to listen to you guys. They need to take information from you guys and apply it to what's coming next. Because I think that's very important. So, I definitely learn a lot from you guys, the Gen Zs and everything else that's coming after that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, like I agree with that. Like you can't put an age limit on what inspires you and who you can even look up to, even if you're talking about little kids. Like there's just so much inspiration to go around that you can get it from anywhere, as long as you're around the right people. Or there's just so many people in the world. You run into so many people throughout your life that like everyone hits you different in some type of way.
Of course, definitely.
But yeah,
you can be inspired by, and I'm inspired by all people that I've met in my life and that are no longer here, and that people that I've yet to meet in my life and things like that. And some of those people I might not even ever get to meet in my entire life, but it doesn't mean that you can't be inspired by them. You can't be inspired by their journey and like how they got to where they got to. So I feel like that's always something that's very inspiring. Is something to look up to, in any aspect. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll go back to this. You brought this up. Just a quick question, but I'm sure you'll be able to give a long answer. Well, what's been the biggest benefit of having a dog? I know I can speak on it. You have the best dog, one of the best dogs I've ever seen. Oh man, just addicting to be around, it seems. Although
awesome. She's pretty awesome.
So what?
I mean, the general statement can just be like companionship or whatever, things like that. Like some people are like humanitarians or whatever, so they like to do shelter dogs and stuff like that. They like to give back. My dog's not a shelter dog, but just like it could be like coping mechanisms for emotional reasons, like people grieve and deal with losses and stuff like that by getting animals and stuff like that. So I think there's a variety of reasons, and me personally, it's probably like a mixture of a lot of things. Like, I consider myself like a very solo person. Like, I don't really enjoy a lot of company a lot. I enjoy the company of myself a ton, but my dog is awesome. So like, every now and then, like, she entertains me and things like that, and gives me something to like look after, be like more responsible for, I guess. So, but yeah, there's a number of reasons, and I kind of just I wanted a dog for a while, honestly, French bulldog for a long time, and after just like going through this whole year of 2020 with all the ups and downs and things like that, I think it was just a good time to get one. So yeah, she's been awesome.
Facts. I'm definitely getting myself a dog at some point.
Dude, do
Put
it.
the bank on that. But
gotta get one like Lamarr's.
oh man, little guy holding my hand.
Right.
Oh,
I want a big one. I want a big guy.
I can't do those big dogs. Like, no, it's too much. If I can't scoop and score, I'm good. I'm all set.
As long as the dog doesn't shed, I'm straight.
Yeah, you might have a tough find trying to find a dog.
Yeah, C-Mac's high maintenance. Swears he's not.
C-Mac, you might need like a goldfish or something like that.
Nah, we don't. Nah, the
You don't get a turtle.
Facts. That's what you need. That's
I don't know how people get those. Get those things. Like, you can't even take care of it. You just watch it sit in its cage.
And people pay thousands and thousands of dollars for fish, and they just sit there, and I don't really know what to do with them. At least a dog is like, like a dog's like a chick magnet. Like you walk around and get some girls with a dog, right? Like,
facts.
That's a fact. Yeah, you'd be like, this is my
downtown
facts. Like, look, this is my dog. If you hit him with this is my dog, like, and oh my god.
Yeah, that's she's definitely a lady killer. That one is Kiki.
No one's talking to you if you walk around with a fishbowl, I tell you that. Okay. No. But I just want to touch on something you just said. You mentioned that like you appreciate and you like being like by yourself, like solo. Like you appreciate your own presence and instead of others. And that's like a self-love thing. That's like, and that's something that I think is like very powerful. Like, you need to love yourself before you can love others. So touch on like just the importance of like being comfortable, just being alone a lot of the time, and like what does that bring? Like what powers does that give you?
I think it's just more just me, like a personal thing. Like, I don't always like to be alone, but but just like I feel like I had a better thought process, when I'm kind of like in my own zen or things like that. Where other people, it's like they like to work in a group, and they like to do things as a team, where I'm more of just like a, give me my task guy and let me just go off on my own, and I'll get it done, to an extent.
Yeah. Sure.
And for me, it's just like, it's not like I'm better than anyone or trying to exclude myself. It's just, I feel like this is the way that I feel more comfortable on a day-to-day basis, as far as my own like self-progression and like how I'm going to be able to improve myself like day after day, month after month, year after year, as far as like what I'm accomplishing in life. Because you can't confuse movement with progress. So it's just like, you can be moving every single day doing things, but if you're not making progress, like, what are you really doing? You hang around 4 broke people, you're going to be the 5th broke person. Like, that's a natural saying. So like, I like to surround myself with people that are productive, that are getting things done, that are trying to be better themselves, that have similar interests and goals as me. And it might not be people my age. It might be people younger, older, whatever. It might not be anyone relatively in the same area as me. So it might mean I'm just kind of on my own a lot, or I'm just communicating via internet or something like that. There's all different scenarios that come into play, but I think just for me, in the past few years, or just for the majority of my life, like I've gotten a lot of stuff. I've gotten a lot more done when I've just like focused on myself.
Definitely.
So that's kind of like my whole thing about just spending time like solo and things like that. So
For sure.
I welcome the company.
Definitely. Um, yeah, like the geez, I'm losing my train of thought. Thank you. What were you saying? Oh, like the groups that like your crew that you hang around. Well, I think that's so important. Like you shouldn't like you don't want to be the smartest person in your group. You don't want to be the hardest working person in your group. You know what I mean? You always want to be chasing one of your boys or one of your other friends.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I say like I think like if you like if you want to achieve certain things, or if you want to accomplish certain feats or whatever, like you've got to put yourself in a position to be successful. So if you want to yourself, Colin, like if you want to be a millionaire or whatever, if you want to achieve certain things, you've got to go out and get the resources to put yourself in front of these people or next to these people that are going to help you achieve these goals. And that's it. Like, so, and that's why I say like, like the essay is true. Like you hang around four broke people, then you bound to be the fifth one, because you're going to pick up bad habits, and you're going to pick up, things that you necessarily don't want to, pick up. So that's why it's all about like, who you surround yourself with, your consistent day-to-day movements and what you're doing, how you're prioritizing like your lifestyle and things that are of importance. Like all that stuff matters. So, and then like that's how I think you start to see progress over time instead of just movement, sporadic movement. So,
I like that saying. I feel like a lot of people get that confused.
Movement.
No, definitely, it can be very confusing. Especially now because there's so much distractions in life and stuff like that, and it's not like it's just gonna keep happening as far as technological advancements and just life itself. It's just like there's so many more distractions. Like I said before, when I was your ages, it wasn't like when we wanted to go to the basketball court to play ball, like you would just have to go to the court and see if people were there. Like y'all be on Twitter or on Snapchat, like, yo, send me a Snapchat to see who's at the court. Like, nah, bro, we couldn't do that. You had to show up at the court to see who's at the court. And if there was no one there, if there was only two kids there, all right, let's play 21. Oh, someone else is here. Let's play twos now. Like, that's how shit happened. Like, nowadays it's like, they send a Snapchat or whatever, however way y'all do it. But it's like no one comes to the court or no one show up at one area unless it's everyone come at one time or it's all organized. You know what I mean? Before it was just show up, someone trickle in, a couple more kids trickle in, da-da-da-da. Oh, now we got enough to play 10. Like, all right, let's shoot up for teams. It's just like, and that happens, I think, just with like, and that's just basketball metaphor. It can be anything in life, because like the social aspect that you guys have now is just like way more advanced than how we had it. Like, Sidekick was popping for us. Like when the Sidekick first came out, like that was like, holy crap, we can be on AIM all day long now. Yo, that shit was lit. Like, and now y'all got Twitter. Like that's just crazy. Like,
nah, there's definitely positives and negatives to technological advancements. Like that was the best though, when you just show up at the Boys and Girls Club and you didn't have to text anybody, and it was gonna be those Thursday nights. It was
what I'm talking about. Yeah, you didn't have to text no one. You have to do nothing. You just knew that every day or whatever that specific day was, it was gonna be some good run. And on random days, you would just show up, and if you got some run, you got some. If you didn't, you get some shots up by yourself, or you play a couple 2-on-2s or whatever the case may be. And I just like you said, see, like technology is good. There's positive and a negative out of it. So I think it's just about like I said, setting your priorities and things like that. Like that's always going to be the case in any aspect. You got to be able to prioritize like what you want to do and kind of what you want to get done. So
like that.
Thanks.
So we talked a lot about basketball, and we've also talked a lot about people who have impacted you. But we'd be selling you short not to really touch on how you've impacted so many people, specifically like girls basketball, the role you've taken in coaching in a lot of Arlington youth teams. I know you're now coaching at Rivers. You helped at Arlington High School, right? You helped many places. You ran the Middlesex Magic girls program. Um, so you've really taken a role and determination in trying to really build and help guide the next generation of girls basketball players. So what's girls basketball and women's basketball meant to you, and just talk about that.
Yeah, I would say basketball as a whole. Like I started off in the youth basketball as boys basketball to start with the Middlesex Magic, and I did that for a few years, just doing the younger boys stuff, probably up to I think sixth grade was the oldest team I had, or seventh grade. But then I transitioned into girls afterwards, starting with like the Arlington travel team, which got them in fourth grade, and they're now currently in eighth grade. And then within that time frame, I was also doing the girls AAU stuff and a couple of different high schools within that same time frame. Arlington High School, Newton North, and now I'm at Rivers. And I think just like girls basketball is getting a lot more notoriety. It's getting I think it's getting a lot of the attention that it deserves. But honestly, there's no huge difference, between girls and boys basketball now that I've been in the space. Like, it's like the biggest difference in girls and boys basketball is just the pace. That's really it, to be honest. Like, you've got girls that are very highly skilled. You've got girls that are very strong IQ'd, and it's just like the pace is just totally different from boys basketball to girls basketball. But impacting the space myself, I think being a teacher has a lot to do with it, as far as putting education first within the sport itself, and not just like a focus on winning or anything like that. Clearly, like, everyone likes to get some wins underneath their belt, and you don't want to lose all the games and things like that. But I think it's just more important to teach and learn, and to encourage them to, even after they finish playing for me or finish playing for Arlington or finish playing AAU in general, like are you going to continue to enjoy the game and love the game and go play rec leagues or go play at the park or whatever, 30 and older leagues as you get older and things like that, whatever, old man leagues, like you've got to ultimately just continue to love the sport. And I think that's like my first approach to coaching basketball, whether it's boys or girls, because both skills are translatable. I do some personal training as well, and my training doesn't vary whether it's a girl or a boy. Depending on what their skill set is, you might scale back a little bit, or you might throw some extra stuff on there if they can handle it. But how you train their mindset is no different. So I think in that aspect, I've been very inspirational to kids, as far as just having them have a long lasting enjoyment for the game, and just continuing to, no matter where they go, apply certain skills, and so that they can benefit themselves in whatever team that they go to. So,
yeah.
So it's all about love for the game.
It's about loving the game. That's all it is. Yeah. So,
especially at like young ages, like you're not gonna like be breaking breaking clipboards over wins and losses and X's and O's.
We still break clipboards in the yeah.
Okay. It's still for the love of the game, though. It's for the love of the game.
It's still showing a level of emotion for the game itself. Because it's like, imagine if like I did all this coaching and training and practicing with them, and then we went out in the game, and they didn't squat, and I just sat there. Like, what does that show them as far as like, Lamarr doesn't really care that we even mess it up or anything like that? So I think you have to show a level of emotion. I think it's a balance, and that's what I'm saying. Like, having a teacher's background or a therapeutic background, like the coach at Rivers does now, Like it's just having like a very good balance of like coaching your kids and holding them to a high expectation, and then just like being able to put an arm around them as well and comfort them and let them know that, hey, it's just a game. Like I need you to do better, but don't take it. So don't go home and like, and you know what I mean, cry and things like that or kill yourself. Like it's just a game at the end of the day. This is supposed to help you create a hard exterior shell for what you're really going to face out in the real world. You know,
Yeah.
you a job interview or whatever you're going to do in real life, like there's going to be speed bumps, there's going to be trials and tribulations, and you know, and it's not about like, well, it's about the journey and like how you get there. So it's just like you might get knocked down a little bit, but like, are you going to get back up and keep going? So, you know, if you were um if you were a robot or something like that, then we'd expect you to get it right and do everything exactly how it's drawn up on the first time, and we would have to break any clipboards and shit like that. But we expect you to make mistakes, and coaches expect you to, you know, to have imperfections and have faults. So, and this, and it's about how the coach reacts and how they continue to coach you through those errors and things like that on the way up. So, it just builds mental toughness, I think. So, yes, emotion definitely plays a big part in coaching.
So, yeah.
How many tees you got? You definitely got teed up then.
Dude, I got teed up last week for no reason, bro. It was crazy. I'm not even lying. And tell me if I'm wrong here. So the ball got inbounded, right? It's their ball. We're on defense. The ball's inbounded, close to the half court line. The ball tips the girl's fingers and rolls to the back court. That's a back court, right? If she touches the ball before the ball crosses the half court line, so you're on your side of the court already.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
right. Half court line's right here. The ball comes and hits her hands and then goes into the back court, and she runs and goes and grabs
that's
it.
A backcourt violation.
That's all right. So that's what happened, right? And the
that's
ref,
crazy.
Is it? Because doesn't she have to have possession in the front court in order for it to
no, you can throw it in the back court as long as you don't touch the ball.
Oh, I thought
once you touch the ball can't go into the back court anymore. Right?
So she touched it in the front court.
Yeah, the ball tipped. She tried to catch it.
Yeah, no,
it was like out of her reach. It tipped her fingers and it went to the back court. And she grabbed it. So that's a back court. And
that's a back court.
The ref was on my sideline, and all I said was back court. He was just like, bang, T. And I was like, I was furious.
That's crazy. I almost got a T for no reason. So remember Mr. Morrison? C-Mac, you remember Mr. Morrison?
Yeah.
Do you remember him, Lamarr? He helped.
Name sounds familiar.
He refereed. He helped Jim. He was a gym teacher at Brackett. Anyway.
Oh yeah. No,
great guy. So he was courtside. He was courtside at our game versus Bell Hill, and I had this nice move where I went slow down my steps 1, 2, and I finished. Yeah. And this old head called a travel. And everyone on my bench, like everyone was like, that's not a travel. He called travel, blah, blah. A couple plays later, they're at a free throw. I'm at like half court, Mr. Morrison sitting down. I'm like, see that travel? And the big old ref's right there. And he was like, you see that travel? I was like, you see that travel? He's like, yeah, that wasn't a travel. Mr. Morris says that. And I was like, yeah, that was an old head call. And the ref was like, hey, you want to get teed up? I was like, no, I just didn't think it was a travel. That's all.
That was not a travel.
Getting teed up, I think it's not a bad thing. It shows you got some blood. It shows the blood's pumping and you got some emotion. You care about what's happening on the floor. I think, you know, there's guys that get teed up for no reason because they just make smart comments and stuff like that. And I've kind of been on some of those benches and heard some of those things. It's quite funny sometimes when you can tee it up in the right way, but yeah, like technicals, it's a part of the territory, you know.
Yeah,
for sure.
It comes with the territory.
All right, so a couple more, but I want you touched on, and I wanted to mention is what do you've you personally train a lot of people. You helped train me and many times. What do you enjoy about that? It's obviously a different dynamic than coaching, but what's something you really enjoy? But I know Colin may want to get into that post playing career. So
yeah, I mean, it all goes back to, like I said, the teaching aspect. Like, I'm a teacher first, and basketball has just always been second nature to me. You know what I mean? Like, if golf was second nature to me, I'd be a golf instructor, because I love golf. I like playing golf a lot more than I like play basketball right now. But basketball is such second nature to me that I can teach it. Just, I can teach it like the back of my hand. It's very easy. And then just to be able to see the progression of teaching young kids. I should specify that, teaching young kids the fundamentals and things like that. Obviously, like Colin and yourself, you guys are a little bit more advanced now, so it's just like you guys are learning more things about the game than I could probably teach you, or you could learn from other people, various other people, and still get the same impact. Whereas if you were in your fifth grade self or your fourth grade self, if there was some other coach trying to teach you the stuff that I was trying to teach you earlier in life, they probably wouldn't know how to translate it or make it, get it to a way that you can understand it or that's impactful for you at a young age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just about language. And I think, like I said, that emotional connection you have with those younger kids, because you have to build trust before they believe you. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to do anything you ask them to do until they believe and they trust you, especially if you're trying to pull them outside their comfort zone, to do things that's going to benefit them when they get to high school or college, or if they have aspirations to play even further than that in life. It all starts with the basic fundamentals. Like, you and C both know, like, all three of us, like we know Pat, like Pat still does the basic routines to improve his game day after day when he's in the gym. Same thing with probably Duncan and the rest of these NBA guys, right? So what you do to improve your skill day by day, it never varies from the fundamentals. It's just like, as you get older and as you get better and things like that, and as your skills starting to sharpen, you just add more and more and more to your fundamentals and things like that, and you start kind of branching off to work on specifics of the game. But when you're young, like, it's all like the ball handling, it's all the footwork, it's all the form shooting, it's all working on balance, it's all working on being low, it's working on, where to put the basketball as far as protecting yourself and pivoting and things like that. And I think all that basic stuff is just like watching that progression from, not knowing anything from that to building that foundation and becoming a successful basketball player using those fundamentals. That's what I get out of it a lot. And then, like I said, like if the kid has, if the kid has any aspirations to want to be better or go further than that, then we can talk about that type of stuff. But just watching that, that basic foundation build to where like they're now developing confidence to go out and just try certain things in games based on what you worked on in practice. That's enough for me right there, as far as training and developing.
So obviously you're a teacher classroom teacher, on the court in training, just kind of, you're just like all around teacher just in life, it seems like. What's like the most gratifying moment to you when being like a teacher, on the court or off the court?
Most gratifying moment, I would say, is, it's funny, it might sound weird, but like kind of like watching somebody fail. It's like, to an extent, it's like, because like when failure hits, it's like, or when you're facing some adversity, it's like, then you really want to see what's going to happen after that. And that's when you can really kind of say like, or you can really kind of tell or get a better feel of like how this person's mind is working, or how much kind of mental toughness they have and things like that. So like, because failure comes with everything. You're never going to succeed until you fail, to an extent. So, everything can be going good. It's just like, it's just like in the stock market, like you're sitting there riding highs and markets rising and markets going up and you're making a ton of money and everything's all good. But then when you lose that 20 or 15% gain, it's like, do you sell or do you hold? Like, so, and I think that's the same thing in life. It's like, you can be, you know, riding this high and things like that or whatever. And then once something happens in your life, whether it's unexpected or expected, a tragedy happens, whatever, it could be personally, or it could be someone else, something that happens to someone else that could affect you. Like, how are you going to bounce back from that? How are you going to accept failure, or how are you going to accept defeat? You know, how are you going to measure that against your ultimate success? So, you know, and that's kind of like what I kind of like to see nowadays, like kids, girls, boys, whatever. I like to see them succeed, definitely, but when they face a little bit of adversity and then they get through that adversity and they keep going, like, that shit's dope.
That's interesting that you say that, because I feel like most people that we ask that type of question, applying it to their life and their work, it's like what Dana said in one of our podcasts. He was saying when someone gets a scholarship offer, when, you know, when this guy wins the championship or this, that, and the third. But I guess it's kind of, I guess like they mean it, but they don't say it. But the fact that you brought up failure before success,
I mean, it always happens, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like those scholarship offers did not come without turn downs. You know what I mean? I'm sure the scholarship offers he got weren't his first top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 schools. Like, I got all my top 5 schools. Like, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no,
so
definitely. I mean, and also it wouldn't be like, if you have success without failure, then it doesn't hit as hard. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
it's
Yeah,
not.
makes-
It doesn't
makes
mean
it
as
worth
much
it.
to you. It doesn't mean as much to you. So
Yep. So failure or adversity. I was talking to someone about this the other day. We were talking about, like, who do I think is like a hardcore competitor, like the most competitive athlete of all time, and I was just like Tiger Woods, like hands down, like savagery since a toddler, like, you know what I mean, like a savage beast, a 6-year-old, and then going through all the stuff he went through, which was kind of like self-inflicted to an extent, but then like injuries and all the other stuff, to be able to come back and then still be the best golfer of all time, like, he's number one for me. And then there's a lot of like Michael Jordans and things like that are number 2s and right there. But just like that adversity, that like the mixture of adversity mixed with like the mindset of like a 6-year-old to be like, yo, I'm gonna be the best of all time at age 5. Like, that's just total insanity. Like, I can't see anyone having a better competitive mindset than that. So
yeah, nah, it's hard to argue against Tiger Woods. I mean,
so like in that aspect, it's just like, you like, there's gonna be failure along that timeline of trying to be the best of all time, especially if that's your goal since like you're 6 years old. You know, like, there's gonna be failure there. So it's just like, commend him a lot for going through all that stuff. You know, failures on and off the golf course, and just to still kind of come back and like be really great and things like that. And in 2018 and stuff, it was awesome. So.
yeah.
All right.
That's like, yeah.
So that led right into golf, because you have the golf bug, apparently. Well, not apparently. Evidently. Although, talk about failure, I saw you at a point where you were I don't know, you were I don't know, you were Giselle Woods.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, exactly. I was something. I was bad.
You weren't Tiger. So what it's an addicting game. I've gotten into it. I certainly am not as into it as you, and I definitely haven't played in a while, but I went through phases where I just like, I loved it, because that feeling, you chase that feeling of hitting that nice shot, like, there's nothing better. But then there's no feeling, nothing more frustrating than just shanking and shanking. I mean, I was brought to like this super nice country club. My uncle, I was telling this story to my sister the other day, And my uncle's, I think you've met my uncle Teddy. He used to sit on
Yeah. He had the wicked golf clubs that
yeah,
you're
exactly. Yeah, he gave me it. And he brought me to this wicked nice country club. He's gassing me up. Oh, this kid's a great kid's a point guard too. Kid does it all. Kid hits it a mile. All this, he's gassing me up.
giving you all the juice. Yeah.
All the juice, all these club guys, like just rich white guys that all could play golf, just looking at me. And I'm just like, Ted, like, shut up. Like, I'm getting set to tee off. Everyone's quiet. Zoom, shit. First one barely gets off the tee, like dribbler. He's like, Ted. Then Teddy goes back on his word. And he's like, that's not how I taught you how to hit it. And I was like, Ted, this is what you told me. Next one, shank it out to right field. I remember, I'll be honest, and I'm ashamed of it, but I came home from that round and I was like, I'm done playing golf. Like I came into that summer being like, I was going to Nobles. I was like, I'm gonna try out for the golf team in the fall. Like that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I'm sticking to basketball. So like, how have you? I don't know. What do you love about golf? Like, there's a lot of lessons to take away from golf. So,
going back to spending a lot of time by myself and things like that, just having that like self-driven mindset, things like that. It's like I've learned to compete against myself in a lot of aspects in life, not just sports, but just a lot of aspects in life. I've learned to compete against myself, and golf has been like perfect for that. Golf is perfect for competing against yourself. So not to go too far off the subject, but when I golf, like, and from the time that we played B, and like I was really, really bad, right? It was just from there on, it was just all about competing against myself. So every single practice, or every time I went to the range or do the golf galaxy stuff, indoor golfing, whatever, like every single time I step up to the golf course or the tee, like I just try to compete against myself, improve the swing, the pattern, the face, like everything. Like, and I took lessons too. So like, you implement your lessons into, your actual game, and then you just start challenging yourself every single time you play. So, and that was how I got, better, or I would say a little bit more consistent. I'm not really good, but there's some rounds I can put together with some really good consistency. Where like I played last week. It's indoors too, so outdoors is probably a little bit tougher. But I shot like a 37 for 9 holes.
Positive.
So yeah, and that's pretty decent, and that's because like my driver is starting to get a little bit further and not hook so much. So like I'm eliminating that like second and third shot I have to take.
Yeah, pretty right. Down stroke, just chopping off strokes.
Yeah, exactly. So I think in that aspect I'm getting better. But even still, it's like I can hit a good driver and then like hole 3, like just like dribble it right off the ground. So it's just like it's just the consistency that's so tough with golf.
No, it's so mental.
The dribblers are the worst. If you don't
get my God, it's so bad.
C-Mac, watch it.
I'm not a golfer, but that's why I don't play. That's why I don't play. That's why I don't play.
It's so bad. I hate it, and I get so frustrated because like I overthink on like what I did to like do that, to mess it up, instead of just being like, all right, let's just relax and swing again and just it'll be better next time. It's just like compounding mistake on mistake by just overthinking sometimes.
Oh, it's the same thing with
I'm a mini golfer.
Yeah, but at least in basketball, dude, I can use the first 2 minutes to jack up 5 shots to get warm.
That's
like,
right.
You can't do that in golf.
And you have people to rely on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, grab my rebound. I'm cold right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in golf, you can't shake it into the woods 3 or 4 times, bro. Like,
no one can save
a mully. Get a couple mullies in.
I think you only get 1 per round, but we'll try for 2.
I play like 10. I play like 10.
We'll touch on it quick, but Lamarr, that round I played out of my mind.
Dude, you look like a pro.
Literally.
For real. Legit pro. You just stepped off like the college golf course and shit like that.
Nah, it was crazy. And we played with those 2 other guys who were like asking me about my putter, and I had no clue what my putter was. Like,
they're like, dude, that's like a $600 putter.
I was like, oh, I mean, give me yours. I wouldn't know the difference.
I just putt.
It's so consistently, because then whenever the next time I played it was not even remotely the same. But
yeah, that's the thing. You gotta keep doing it over and over again. And But I think it's just like anything, like once you get it too, and once you've kind of got that rhythm down, it kind of stays with you for the most part. So it's just like basketball. Like I might not be a good jump shooter, but my form looks really, really good because like I've been doing it for years. You know what I mean? Like, like if I take 10 jump shots in a row, they'll all look really good, but I'll probably only make 3 of them. Like just walking into the gym, you know?
All that matters is how it looks.
Yeah,
That's
you
really
just
All that
deceive.
matters,
Just
right?
deceive people.
I'm drawing the defense out, then I'm going to the cup. Like that's all that matters.
All right, I got one question. That could be for the both of you, actually. You mentioned just like competing against yourself in golf. What do you think's harder, like competing against yourself? Like this doesn't just go. This can go like compete against your like mind and like basketball and just in life, like
Yeah.
or competing against other people. Well, what is harder?
I think competing against yourself is harder. Because like that's the only person that can stop you from reaching your goals is yourself. So like can't nobody hold you back to an extent, you know, like they can not offer you a job or whatever and things like that, but you can always just go and find somewhere to get that position or whatever you're trying to do, establish that business or whatever it is you're trying to do. You know, we live in the home of the free and the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want in America. You can do whatever you want to an extent. So, so like if you're trying to start some business or get some job or whatever, like it's only competing against yourself, you know. That's the only person that's ever going to hold you back from doing anything that you want to do is yourself. So
yeah, and I think like why competing against yourself is the hardest is because like say if you have like a goal and you reach that goal, like you didn't win, you're just moving on to something else. Like you're always chasing what you envision yourself to be, you know? So it's like always the chase, it's always the grind. And like just terms of basketball, like we can beat an opponent, I can beat a team, and I'm like, all right, I'm not playing you guys anymore. I beat you guys. Like, you know, like it's done. The season's over. You stink. But you know, then your mind's like, well, I got to get in the gym the next day, you know, and just keep getting better because I'm trying to be the best.
you don't know what that person is doing exactly.
Yeah,
You don't know what the next person is doing. Like the next person is working just to try to take your spot or to get that spot that you want. So at the end of the day, it's like you're only competing against like how good can I be, you know, like and that's really it. Just like you said, it's not about there's never really an end goal, like to an extent, like
yeah,
and you know succeed at something, but then like all right, like what's next? Like how can I be even better than this? Because you know there's someone out there that's gonna do something that's better than this, or just like what I'm doing, but that's better. And that's just all about life in general, like advancements in anything, like you know, like we went from lighting our houses with candles and now we've got electricity. You know, we went from using outhouses and now we've got indoor plumbing. Like everything is always just going to keep going.
definitely.
So it's just about like there's never no stopping, unless like the individual themselves is just like I'm content, I'm done competing. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But there's always going to be something to I feel like to compete for. If you're you know if you're willing to put the time in it, whatever, and just keep learning.
Yeah, just keep going. All right, we'll finish it off with our MTD staple. We're coming in on just over an hour, so get you out of here. I know you're busy. Um, so if you get to choose 3 songs that make your life playlist, whether they mean something to you or just songs you love. Um, what are those 3 songs?
Yeah, that was a tough question, bro.
It is. I know we didn't
Hey, take your time, go through your playlist.
Yeah.
I got so.
No, whatever you say, you're gonna be like, ah, shit, I missed one. But you just whatever.
Of course, I love music, but so there's a couple of songs that I really, really like, or actually when they come on, like they remind me of certain things, like
Yeah,
stuff like that, like vivid memories or something like that. You can like relate that song to a memory, or a past experience. So like, um, let's see. It's tough shit. I don't know.
like was there any song like that would come on and you'll be like, damn, this is my childhood. This is what I grew up listening to. Like, you know, like one of those things, like you gotta throw one of those in there for sure. And then we can go from there.
Okay, I'll probably say any Jay-Z song that was made in the early 2000s. Like,
Come on,
just,
Lamar.
We're not gonna throw.
We
We're not
can't
gonna
throw the
throw
whole. We
Jay-Z
can't
song on
throw
the
5
playlist.
albums on there.
you're gonna put the song on?
We
Yeah,
put it
the
on a playlist.
We're gonna have an MTD playlist.
We're hearing from the people, so we gotta get you.
Oh,
So you can give us a couple. You can rattle off a couple Jay-Z songs. We'll throw them in there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 3, but
We're just not
doing
gonna
album.
put on the whole 20, the whole 2000.
all right. So here, all right. So I got you one. This is one from my childhood days. Me and my homies used to watch movies. Oh, these are probably movies like way past you guys' head too. Like Belly. You ever seen the movie Belly?
Nah.
Yeah. See, oh my God, watch when Billy G watches this interview. He's gonna scold you guys. So like Belly, like Above the Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Seen that one, right?
Yeah.
Like New Jack City.
Nope.
Never seen New Jack City.
Nope.
Paid in Full.
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah. So like this is around that era of movies in hold on, sorry.
Okay.
Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh, the show.
I haven't seen that.
Woo! Yo, you gotta put that on. That beat rocking. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. All right, and the song's called The Show. So you can start with that one.
The show.
Yup.
Slick.
It's a variety.
Yep.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
So we got it from, we got songs from the 80s all the way up until last week on this playlist. So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna give y'all some. That's an 80s song, but we can jump right into this was another good album that we used to listen to. It's a rap album. So it's like, you guys know like Biggie Smalls.
Okay, all right, yo, don't stop. Yo, don't disrespect us. Don't disrespect us that much, okay? We don't live under a rock.
We were born in the 60s. Like, we
You guys know who Big L is?
Movies, bro, but we know Biggie Smalls and Tupac.
Do you guys know Big L?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you can throw some Big L on there. Put it on.
Put it on.
Okay.
Throw that one on there for me. Okay.
Big L.
Big L is my guy. I'm I just gotta make sure I test you. I'm saying, you guys are on the other side of that line, Arlington line. Let's gotta make sure.
Oh my God! See, now this is just disrespect. We can't take C-Mac. This is crazy.
I had to make sure.
If I were you, I mean, you spend so much time in Atlanta. You don't have any Atlanta rappers on there.
I'm not from Atlanta, so this is where the confusion.
I know. I didn't say you were. I'm saying you spent a lot of time down there.
Yeah, you are right. So I'll give you one. So let's go The Art of Storytelling by Outkast. That'll be the last one. Since you want your Atlanta.
No, I'll give you another one so that it wasn't.
No, that's your Atlanta. That's your 3 right there.
Part 1 or part 2?
What? Part 1. The Art of Storytelling, part 1.
All right.
Also, a lot of people haven't heard. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really know Big L because like he was.
No, they don't.
He was like a great rapper, but like he died young. But I feel like he was overshadowed from like Biggie and Tupac. You know.
Yeah, he died very young. So, but great lyricist. You know, like really.
So, I mean, some people say. I mean, like some rappers like say he's like.
One of the greatest.
You know, like one of the greats. But
yeah,
don't hear that name coming up very often.
But music is like I like a lot of different music. Like my favorite artist is Lady Gaga. So, and that has nothing to do with the 3 artists I just gave you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you more relatable music. I feel like.
Oh no!
Like my favorite music.
You want to throw some Lady Gaga on there?
We need. I mean, we'll take Gaga. We don't want all. We don't need all rap. We're trying. It's trying to be. It's an MTV playlist. This isn't a rap playlist.
I know. I just gave you what I thought the people would kind of want to hear more.
That's not what it's. Okay, fine, fair.
I will give us a Lady Gaga. Give us a Lady Gaga.
Yeah, give us your favorite Lady Gaga.
My favorite Lady Gaga song is "You and I." You can throw a 4th one on there for me too. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, You and I.
We'll give him 4. Don't give him 5, but we'll give him 4.
Yeah, he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it.
I'm about to bump those today.
All right, we'll get those going. C-Mac, you got anything else?
Nah, I mean, we gotta have a whole other
this could go a whole another,
with Lamarr, but
could go a whole another 2 hours. But
yeah, whenever you guys want to have me back, and just definitely let's do it again, and we can talk more in depth about other things that you want to get into, more social, economic things that
for sure.
fall season, things like that, like we can talk whatever you guys want to talk.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Let's make it happen. All right, Lamarr, thanks for joining. This is episode 7 of MTD the Podcast. It's a wrap, Lamarr. We'll be in touch soon.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Oh.
You guys soon.
See ya.